When Dr. Alara Voss stepped into the vaulted lecture hall of the Phyrexian Institute of Hyperdimensional Mathematics, her boots echoed with a sound that did not belong. The other beings in the room were silent, quiet not out of respect, but disbelief. The Phyrexians were a long-lived species, crystalline and fluid in structure, and known across 5 spiral arms for their mathematical supremacy. Their lectures were not attended. They were revered, and to them, a human, especially one from Earth, was not a scholar. She was a curiosity, a mistake. The hall flickered with photonic data scrolls and holographic constructs, cascades of equations running like waterfalls across invisible walls. Alara took her seat, second row center, beneath the judge's gaze. At the front, Professor Skel Ormar, his translucent body reflecting fractal light, like a broken prism, lifted his 6-finger hand and began. Today, we revisit the equation of persistence, he said, voice resonant in 12 harmonic bands, each frequency parsed automatically by the translator node clipped to Alara's ear. Formulated during the Great Spiral Collapse 9 centuries ago, it remains unsolved, a universal riddle, a construct outside the comprehension of lesser intellects. His gaze rested on Alara when he said that last part. Her degree in nonlinear dynamics from Earth's Kepler Institute, earned summa cum laude, might as well have been a napkin in his eyes. She didn't flinch, not when his double-lidded eyes blinked sideways in mocking amusement, not when the room chuckled, a rumble of alien throats and clicking mandibles. The equation of persistence appeared in the air, rotating slowly, a monstrosity of dimensions, folds, and logic traps, set in base, 18 and folded through imaginary space. To human eyes, it wasn't even legible, but to Alara, it was a challenge. A memory stirred. Her mentor back home, Professor Ramesh Verghese, had shown her a relic of an equation once. It had haunted him for years. I call it the ghost function, he had whispered. It appears where entropy and recursion collide. It's like the universe left a signature. She had seen something similar then, and now, 900 light-years and 1 galaxy away, here it was again. For the rest of the lecture, Ormar droned on about failed attempts, dimensional misinterpretations, and theoretical impossibilities. He cited the efforts of Infrix the Mind Flower, who went mad after 400 years of study, and the AI god Phase 9, who deleted 12% of its own code in despair. When the lecture ended, the Phyrexian students filtered out in shimmering clusters, whispering like wind through chimes. Alara stayed. Ormar floated slightly off the dais, regarding her with a detached interest one might offer a bacterium. Do you believe Earth's rudimentary logic and carbon-based pattern recognition can solve this? He asked. No, she said. But I can. He blinked. She stepped forward and tapped her holopad. The projection of the equation shimmered and she rotated it, not just physically, but dimensionally, folding the inputs through human probabilistic modeling, something the Phyrexians consider crude. But in that crudeness was something powerful, intuition. You're not treating it like a living system, she said. You've been approaching it statically. But this equation isn't fixed, it evolves. Blasphemy, Ormar muttered. An equation does not evolve. It is. And that's where you've all been wrong for 900 years, she said, then input a new modifier, a recursive feedback based on planetary biosphere cycle from Earth. She wasn't just solving it. She was conversing with it. The projection twisted violently, flared bright, and then stabilized. The numbers began simplifying, reducing, converging. The cascade took 30 seconds. When it ended, the final form of the equation persistence hung in silence. A single elegant formula. Balanced, breathtaking, solved. The air was utterly still. Ormar did not speak. His body began to flicker and his luminescence dimmed, a Phyrexian sign of profound cognitive disturbance. How? He whispered, stepping forward, limbs trembling. This cannot be. The grand equation unlocked by an Earth species. Not Earth, Alara said, shutting her pad. Me. Word of the solution didn't just ripple through the Phyrexian Institute. It detonated across a galactic academic network. Within hours, Alara's name had reached peer circles on the Seraphim Corps, been discussed by time-shifted minds of the frothy cloud-fed thinkers, and examined by the ageless librarians of Ron Catha's gravity wells. The human from Earth had done what generations could not. The galactic media dubbed her the persistence breaker. Back home, Earth's science community watched in stunned silence as a galactic academic register awarded her a Level 9 recognition, something even Earth's most advanced AI collectives had never received. Ormar tried to discredit her, of course. He accused her of algorithmic trickery, dimensional fraud, and even metaphysical theft. But when independent validations were performed by neutral multidimensional intelligences, they all returned the same result. Solved. The Phyrexian High Academy, unwilling to admit open defeat, offered her an honorary position, an insult, framed as grace. She rejected it, not out of pride, but precision. If your institution cannot accept its own failure, she told the council, then you have no business claiming my success. The backlash was enormous. Protesters outside the academy called for her banning, whispers of species bias. But beneath it all, beneath the public storm, there was fear, because of a human, barely 2 centuries into interstellar mathematics, could unravel one of the galaxy's oldest enigmas. What else might they understand next? A delegation arrived on Earth a week later, led not by Phyrexians, but by the Zalari, the builders of Dyson thought spheres and time-sliced universities. They didn't come to offer awards. They came to learn. Illyra was offered unrestricted access to the Spiral Archive, the oldest library in known space. And the moment she stepped inside its labyrinth of memory crystals and gravitic codices, she realized something terrifying. The equation of persistence had not been a dead end. It had been a key, a lock to something deeper, a warning perhaps, or a door. The more she explored, the clearer it became. Buried in the core of the equation's solution was a pattern, a signature embedded in recursive dimensional echoes. The same pattern that had emerged once in Earth's own simulations of quantum cognition. One the AI RIA, 7 had flagged before going dormant. It wasn't just a formula. It was a message. We are asleep. Do not wake us. And she had just opened it. She returned to Ormar, who now sat alone in his lab, a dim glow of shame around his crystalline body. You weren't wrong, she said. You just never looked at it like a warning. His eyes fluttered, dim and old. You saw something deeper. I saw that we weren't meant to solve it, she said. It was a test, a wall, built by something ancient enough to use mathematics as a lock. And you broke it, he whispered. Yes, she said. And now I think they know. Across the galaxy, in quiet data nodes and isolated research vessels, strange things began to happen. Equations began collapsing. Constants shifted. Variables that had once behaved predictably now stuttered, flickered, and changed. It was as if reality itself had blinked. On the moons of Carthalex, an AI collapsed into silence, emitting a single tone before self-terminating. On Varkin's edge, a time-dilated observatory watched a quasar reverse spin. Illyra stood before the Spiral Archive once more, looking at its sealed depths. A question burned inside her. Had she just doomed them all? But another part of her, the part that belonged to Earth, the species that had survived death worlds, tamed radiation, and learned to dream among stars, it whispered, or maybe, just maybe, we're ready. And far beyond the mapped void, something stirred.